Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Serenity Gaming Springsplit today with the Division 1 match between Hillerød Esport and Copenhagen Flames Academy. Both teams the biggest giants right now in Serenity Gaming Split. Hillerød of course being the veterans that have reached semi-finals last split, however unable to really get the mark done now, looking to assert their dominance in the beginning of the split. Of course, as always, my name is Karim and today I am bringing you guys back in time a tiny bit, as we have a returning caster, Lord Fat Man, whatever you wish to call him. The man is back. Hi man, how are you doing?
I'm feeling absolutely amazing, man. It's good to be back, I'm not gonna lie. And just to point out, the last time I was here, I was actually casting over the semi-final, I believe it was, for Hillerød Esport, and those guys put in a bit of a fight. I'm not gonna lie, it was supposed to be quite the stomp, but it turned out to be a best of 3. So I must admit, I'm really excited to see what Hillerød can pull out today. I feel it's going to be a little bit of a back and forth, especially with it being the two hypest teams going into this game. Obviously, we've got another best of 3, so I'm very curious to see whether it's going to be a quick and easy 2-0 for one team, or if it's going to be another spicy best of 3 games. We all like Hopefully. A good 3-game. So, let's just see what happens, I guess.
Yeah, that's what we have to see, essentially. And I feel like we're talking about like a best of 3, but it's definitely not going to be a regular one in that case, because when we look at both the playstyles for these teams, they have ways to get themselves ahead in the early game. Hillerød are mostly known for playing through those early couple of minutes in the game, rather than just going for something scaling. That is more so the case for Nikolai, the AD carry for Copenhagen Flames, and so I feel like we can expect a lot of aggression, a lot of early game picks, mostly in the mid lane as well as top lane, however, which isn't something that we see too often, especially kind of in the more amateur leagues based kind of thing. I don't know, but regardless, we're gonna be having a very fun match on our hands, as we are likely gonna be going into the champion select in just a couple of short minutes.
I think everybody's really excited to see just what's going to happen in this draft when we go into the champion select. So, just while we wait on that to load on up, I want to bring our attention to this top lane matchup. So, for Hillerød, we've got Shim, and for Copenhagen, Flames, we have got Fart Control, and I'm not going to lie, the fact that he has the name Fart Control, I absolutely love it. I think it's a great name. Good job, my friend. So, let's talk a little bit about these two players. As you've already briefed me before we started this cast tonight, Shim is supposed to be a bit of a mad lad. He's absolutely crazy. He's more than happy to just go in and just be like, oh my god, just expect this guy to carry. Don't expect a tank with this bad man. He's going to be pulling out some wacky stuff. And to be honest, considering the way the meta's going now, after seeing Riven getting nerfed just a little bit more, I'm still seeing Yasuo as fairly strong. So, as you were telling me before the cast had started tonight, I'm actually expecting Shim to potentially pull out a blind pick in the top lane with a Yasuo if needs be, but I think it's going to be very much down to the start of the draft. But on the other hand, we've got to remember Fart Control has played the champions such as the Akali, the Hecarim, Riven, as I've already mentioned, who has been nerfed a little bit, which is a bit sad, but at the end of the day, still a good champion if you know how to play it. Oh yeah. So I'm very excited to see just how it goes.
Yeah, and we have seen Riven actually be pulled out. Was it perhaps? Yes, I think it was the SRG match yesterday, in fact, that we have seen Riven be played. It went pretty well against the Urgot, not going to lie. Now, of course, we are in the draft phase, ladies and gentlemen. Zoe, Cassiopeia, Morgana being the bot lanes coming from the Copenhagen Flames, looking to get out some of the more comfort-based picks, clearly looking at the OPGGs of the opposing players, given that the Zoe is a pretty important comfort pick for Hold My Fox, and Tauber, while not precisely being known for playing that Morgana that much in the Wintersplit, has been kind of abusing this champion in the solo queue, so it makes sense that they just decide to take that one out. On the other hand, well, Hillerød Esport, they are pretty severely limiting the early game pool from the side of Copenhagen Flames, but it doesn't matter, as Fart Control is the first one to lock in, giving Undercover Potato a thresh.
That Thresh is ringing alarm bells, but the Sona Taric is ringing even more. Now, let's just take a moment to think about this, guys. Obviously, we've got a Thresh being locked in right away. Now, this guy is going to be a little bit of a machine, I should hope, especially as a Thresh main. I'm really excited to see how Undercover Potato can use this champion to his advantage. Going for that insta-lock on the support, but we're also seeing Hillerød come out with the Taric Sona, which is one hell of an annoying bot lane. However, I do think picking up the Thresh does allow for a lot of early kill and all-in potential. So I'm very curious to see if Hillerød are actually able to stall out and get to their level 6 marks and stack up the Spell Thieves so that they can get a little bit stronger and play out the champions the way they would like to. But I'm seeing this Thresh, and I'm saying to myself, man, I don't care if you've got a lot of healing on your team. That Thresh goes in, he picks you up, and you're going to be one sad player.
Yeah, and right now, Riven also coming through for Fart Control himself. This team is not messing around. I'm actually pretty excited to see this top lane pickup be picked up this early on. I thought that they would focus down on the bot lane duo now that they know that they're going to be facing Sona and Taric, because now it allows for this bot lane to ban out even more champions. Taric and Sona are notably bad at playing into anything that can burst them down immediately, given that they're super squishy before they're level 6. So they are just taking out the Caitlyn. They're looking to take out even more wind out of Copenhagen Flames' sails in this early game in the bot lane, and they're just going for pure team fighting, it seems. Makes sense, given this bot lane duo. They're locking themselves the rise, saying, alright, we're gonna be going late game with this one. Now, what I'm looking at is, where are they gonna pick up the aggression? It's likely gonna be in the mid lane, as Ryze can swap over to top, and is now gonna be either on Hold My Fox or Alban to get this team ahead in the early game, because they're gonna be facing some heavy opposition in the case of Rek'Sai, Riven, and whatever they decide to pick in the bot lane.
Going to be a very rough one. We're just seeing the Jarvan ban coming in at the moment, and we're just waiting to see what else they come out with for the final ban on the side of Copenhagen Flames, and it's going to be the Skarner, just to make sure that they can lock down a little bit of the early potential that Alban will have going around running with his powerful little junglers. So it's going to force him onto something a little bit more slightly off the early aggression. However, there is still the opportunity to pick up the Sejuani, but I'm seeing the Nocturne being hovered right now, and I imagine, yep, it's going to be the Nocturne thrown straight in there. So there goes my tank suggestion straight out the window. Pop goes the Weasel. All we need now is going to be a little Shen, maybe just for Hillerød or a Galio. Either would work really, really well with a Nocturne just for that bit more survivability. But I must admit, I'm still curious to see how Hillerød will round out in the top lane, purely because I'm slightly concerned for their lack of early game damage, to be honest, especially when we see Copenhagen pulling out the Kaiser and the hover of the Annie, which is slightly bothering me. I kind of hope it isn't, but at the end of the day, the gut inside me is also saying, please lock this in. I want to see some summon tibbers and see people being set on fire, because that is a horrible thing.
Yeah, we have seen Annie be played both in support role as well as mid lane recently, which is a pretty... Okay, so apparently it's a placeholder, and it's meant to be an Aurelia. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, everyone. However, that still means that we're going to be seeing either Aurelia or Riven playing mid lane, which already is an... Okay, I'm seeing Tauber hover Aurelia. If you lock this in, we're gonna have to redo this entire draft. Please, Tauber. All right, he's a lovely fella. So it's gonna be Ryze into a Riven likely mid lane, which is an interesting duo, and we're going to be remaking the draft. Alright, because, you know, Annie was locked in. So regardless, we get more time to talk about these compositions. So I'm not actually quite sure who I favor in this draft. I feel like Copenhagen Flames definitely came out on top when it comes to the early game, but then it comes to the execution of it. Hillerød definitely have an easier team comp to try and execute, because they essentially just have to survive. However, Copenhagen Flames, if they just pull themselves ahead in the very few minutes, if they give even 1 or 2 kills to any lane that they have, it's gonna be smooth sailing.
It's going to be very smooth sailing, hopefully. But at the end of the day, I kind of want to see a lot of explosive plays. I want to see some back and forth. Knowing that that is going to be an Irelia in the mid lane makes me very excited. Unfortunately, I was kind of praying that we would get a little bit of a cheeky Annie with a lot of flames going around. But, I mean, we can't all be winners sometimes when it comes to draft, which is sad times. You can give me a Bible thump for that one. But I must admit, I'm slightly curious to see just how the top lane of all lanes is going to play out, especially when we see, I believe it was the Riven that was locked in for the top lane, and I believe, unfortunately, I've kind of forgotten what the other top laner was. Could you remind me?
Irelia.
Was it Irelia? Oh.
Yeah, either Irelia or Riven is going to be going into the top lane, which is why I actually really like the last pick from Hillerød being the Poppy, because then, sure, Poppy isn't really something that you can try and abuse the top lane with, but it's not something that you're going to be giving any pressure on either, especially when playing into champions that have dashes as their most reliant tools of engage and disengage. This means that as soon as Alban with that Nocturne hits that level 6, it should be a very easy kill in that top lane, because the steadfast presence is going to be able to just block everything. And so right now, Hillerød Esport, they're very reliant on just hitting that level 6 on Alban as soon as possible. But he's going to be facing some pretty goddamn tough opposition, as he's going to be playing into a Rek'Sai, who is one of the most notable champions in the early game in the jungle position, and even in the game overall. So if Prebi plays this well in the jungle, it's gonna be almost impossible for Hillerød to do anything before before minute 20.
Before minute 20, indeed, Prebi is going to have a lot of early pressure on this Nocturne. He's going to be threatening the hell out of him. As a Rek'Sai, you are going to be one devastating little man, especially when you get to level 3 map. You can start to tunnel your way around the map insanely quickly. Granted, as you were saying, the Nocturne, once he gets to the level 6, he'll probably have a much stronger chance at taking somebody out with the use of the Paranoia, managing to make everybody feel like, oh my god, guys, he's ganking somewhere, I can't see a thing, because that's a very normal communication thing to have in a team fight. When the Paranoia drops, guys, I can't see a thing, what's going on? Oh, wait, there's a Nocturne in my lane. So, hopefully, we're going to see Alban the man with this Nocturne. Once we get to that level 6 mark, probably going to be having maybe a party in the bottom lane with Villagson and Torba, trying to do a lot of damage and see if he can help his bot laners, get ahead. Otherwise, I think it's going to be a little bit rough in the early stages of the game overall for the top side. I feel as though Shim is very much going to need a little bit of babysitting as well. Basically saying that on the basis of the Riven being so aggressive, I imagine probably going to go Ignite instead of the Teleport for the better chance of all kill, all in that top lane. But obviously, we're not going to know until we get on into the Rift. Then we'll have a better idea of just how Fart Control wants to play out this lane. But for the meantime, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this Riven is going to be kind of scary. So Shim's going to need a lot of help from Alban the man, and maybe even hold my Fox just to make sure that he can survive the first part. Once he gets to Tabbies, and then maybe going something like the Thornmail or the Ice Armor instead, it should be a little bit more effective and safer then. But in the early game, he's going to have it very, very rough.
Yeah, that's essentially the story for everyone on Hillerød, and I feel like it's going to be very interesting seeing Alban path, because you rightfully said that top lane is going to need babysitting, but bot lane as well, and the top lane is essentially almost invulnerable past level 3, because then Poppy gets access to the steadfast presence and is going to be able to dash out of any situation from the dashes of Riven. So I want to see Alban going to the bot side very, very early on, because it's impossible to dive Sona and Taric after they have hit their ultimates. There is no way that you're going to be able to kill them, but before that, they are super squishy and they're very, very vulnerable in that laning phase. So he's going to have to put a lot of attention there, and the lane that hasn't really got our attention too much is the mid lane. Now, it looks like it's going to be Riven in the top lane, which is pretty interesting to me personally, because Irelia hasn't really seen that much play in that lane. We have seen her mostly be picked in the top side of the map, simply because she has received a bit of a rework, a couple of nerfs to her passive, so it's now a bit more difficult for her to proc all of the 5 stacks to get the extra attack speed and damage. So now, she's going to be playing into her Rise, sacrifice. And again, if Albin decides to pad over there, Aurelia cannot really dash away, similarly to how Riven can. She can only dash forwards, and with the reliable amount of CC that Ryze offers, it can again be another route to try and snowball the Hillerød esports lineup. But everything in this early game relies on Albin, and it all relies on how well he plays. So given that he is a new addition to Hillerød esports, it's gonna be very interesting seeing his debut game in the SRG.
Definitely going to be exciting to see just how he plays out his very first game debuting in the SRG League. Now, as you were talking about this mid lane, I kind of need to scream a little bit on the inside. I'm going to try not to hurt your ears, guys, with this, but let's be honest for a moment right now. Copenhagen Flames have picked an entirely AD comp, which is genuinely worrying me when I look at a Poppy and a Taric. Granted, it's a Soda Taric, so it's going to take a little while in the bot lane for these guys to come online properly. But that Poppy, Ninja Tabby, Thornmail, oh, GG, well played at 30 minutes, guys. If this goes to late game, unless that Kaiser is going to go for the AP build, it's going to be a pretty sad time when we see literally everybody on the side of Hillerød picking up some sort of armor item. You know what? Let's get hold on. We're seeing Poppy being switched to the mid lane right now, and I believe, do I dare say that it's going to be a Poppy mid?
Well, the 20-second mark has passed, and I believe that this means that there is no more shenanigans of swapping around going on. So it is going to be Hold My Fox playing that Poppy. I feel like we can kind of spiral back to the point that we made about Shim being this insane guy, being able to play everything outside of tanks, so it doesn't really go against our expectations that we had set for this player moving into this game. He's gonna be playing something damage focused, something that he's really comfortable on. Now remember, he doesn't have to go top lane, he can still opt to go into that bot lane, sorry, not bot lane, mid lane, and I would still want to see him play against an Aurelia, because I still feel like it offers more of a setup for Albin to try and do something there. Now, to kind of return to your point again about the full AD composition, you're absolutely right. If this game goes on for longer than 30 minutes, Copenhagen Flames insta-lose it, no questions asked, and so they're on a really, really strict timer. Now, they have the opportunity to get ahead in the early game, but if they don't manage to get themselves enough of a lead to be able to 1-3-1 effectively, their team comp just disintegrates. It's completely focused around catching people out, and if you get the composition of Taric, Sona, and Ryze in the backline be powerful enough to 3v3 the enemy lines, well, there isn't really much that you can do, so it's all about the early couple of minutes, and at this point Prebi also has to step his game up a bit, but it's gonna be a bit less of an importance for him than for someone like Albin.
It's going to be a little bit less important. Now, I do want to bring a small trick as a support main here out for you guys. So, obviously, we can see Hillerød have decided to go for the Sona Taric, and we have a Nocturne. So, as you would imagine, usually if a Nocturne is picked up, you would see something like a Shen or a Galio also being picked in, just to make sure that there's some extra protection for this Nocturne. So, when Albin is going to use his Paranoia and fly straight into that backline, we need to remember that Taric has his ultimate. All he has to do is press R and make sure he's linked to Nocturne, Albin, before he goes in, and boom, once he arrives in there, pop goes the weasel. This guy is unkillable, undamageable, for crying out loud. So he's going to be really, really obnoxious to deal with when he first goes flying in with that Paranoia, but at the same time, I kind of have to say I will not be surprised if I see this Nocturne go for a more defensive build early on, especially with the Rek'Sai in there. So maybe seeing just like an early cloth armor coming up after the boots. Granted, that will slow down his clear just a tad, but I think it might be worth it. Only for the safe, ambitious thought here that maybe Prebi might try to go for some insane early invading. And I imagine that Sebal will have the advantage with the Aurelia in terms of wave clear, especially in the early game. So Prebi's going to have a lot of opportunity and priority in his lanes to be able to move forward. So I think it's probably worth Albin respecting the idea that he could get invaded early and maybe being a little bit more willing to prioritize towards that. And unfortunately, I feel until he gets to the level 6 mark and becomes online, he might have to sacrifice a couple of early camps.
Yeah, you're absolutely right in that. And if he is conceding these early camps, it's extra hurtful for him because, again, he's playing Nocturne, and as you said, he's incredibly reliant on getting that level 6 for himself. If he isn't able to really match Rek'Sai in the terms of level 6 and experience, he's gonna be super far behind because he wants to try and affect these lanes as soon as he can. Remember, it's all on the back of this guy this game. If he doesn't get to the lane soon enough, it's just gonna be giving so much time for these solo laners as well as the bot lane to try and find these picks. And while, Hillerød are really good, in comparison to someone like me, there is still a very high potential for them to make one little misstep in those lanes, and suddenly, boom, as you said a couple of times, pop goes the weasel, pop goes their health bar, and suddenly their screen goes gray. And at that point, it's what Copenhagen Flames team composition excels at. So one little mistake and it can be the game over, so stakes are high, higher than ever, as we now enter Summoner's Rift for the first game of tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Please make sure to spam who you think is going to be winning this very, very first game, if it's going to be Copenhagen Flames or Hillerød Esport. We're now waiting on the players to get into the game. Oof.
So, who do we throw our money on? I'm a gambling man.
Ooh,
where do we go?
Gambling man. I feel like we kind of have to stay a bit unbiased, right? But,
We've got to behave ourselves. I think being unbiased is always good. But when you see a full AD comp like this, especially with a Rek'Sai, a Riven, and an Irelia, 3 champions that are incredibly powerful early on into the game. Granted, they could still be beast mode on in the late game too, but they've definitely got a much stronger early game when you look at their opponents. At the moment, we're just going to see a very standard line of scrimmage going on, just to make sure there's no cheeky invades. But at the end of the day, I still have to think Flame have definitely got the advantage right now. However, Hillerød, if these guys can slow down the pace, keep it nice and chill, and scale up a little bit, it's going to make it very, very difficult for Copenhagen Flame to get themselves into this game.
And at that point, it kind of becomes a bit of a mistake on the side of Copenhagen Flames. If they're, again, unable to push these advantages that they have drafted for themselves, it's not going to be a fun time for them, just to remind the viewers. They're pretty much reliant on winning the game before minute 30. If it goes on for longer than that, it becomes purely execution-based. Now, we have said that late game there isn't much that Copenhagen Flames can do, but there is still the catch-out potential as Undercover Potato goes for the Pixel Brush ward, gets it destroyed, so at least Albin is going to be able to keep himself concealed in the couple of first minutes.
Going to be playing it very, very safe for the moment. I must admit, I'm still incredibly scared of this Kaiser Thresh in the bottom lane into a Cerner and Taric. I'm very, very excited. I'm sorry, as you can tell, I love my Thresh. I love being a support, and it just has me absolutely thrilled. And we're seeing some early aggression going in now. I'm not going to lie, I am very impressed with the decision to go for the coin over the relic. Although, hold on, it seems like Undercover Potato is actually losing that trade there, which is a sad time. As you can see, the Sona doing a lot of damage, especially with the additional damage from her passive. It can be a sad time when she starts to stack that up, and the harass is going to get a little bit much, but at the same time, we're going to see these guys get level 2 bot first, and now they have the all-in advantage. But obviously, Hillerød are going to respect that and just play super safe.
Ooh, the death
or maybe not the death
connects.
sentence, and the ignite and play, and that's just going to be first blood going over to Undercover Potato right there. That was disgusting, my friend.
Prebi is also fighting Hold My Fox there.
Oh, the knock into the tower there. That's really good, but Hold My Fox is low. Going to be able to just walk away, decides not to burn the flash. And now that Prebi has been seen there, you can already see Albin actually going for the invade, clearly respecting the idea that Rek'Sai will go for invades too, so he's just going to match that and make sure both of these junglers can secure themselves their double buffs, which is always a good feeling in that jungle.
Oh, yeah. And right now, Prebi is already doing, as you said, the bit of an invading. Of course, Nocturne is countering it, so he's not going to be the saddest of boys. Now, Hold My Fox in a bit of an odd position.
That's Duet going down, and that's going to be a knock-up as well. And he does... No, he flashes, and he's going to die anyway. So that's going to be a kill for a kill, but Sebal definitely coming out on top of there purely because of the farm advantage. And Hold My Fox is going to lose a lot of farm under that turret right there. So that's a really, really sad time for him.
Yeah, and things aren't looking that great for Hillerød Esport. That is, however, what we thought that was going to happen in that mid lane with this Aurelia. As I said, Aurelia can only go in, not away. So that's what she did. Sebel flashed for the kill. However, he is still going to be coming out on top, even though he traded 1-for-1. So not the saddest of times for Copenhagen Flames, and I feel like we have to see a bit more respect from Hillerød. We see Shim kind of the only one being able to pressure his adversary in that lane, simply because, well, he's ranged and gets the CS clearing advantage. But outside of that, nothing is really going well for Hillerød. However, the junglers are still pretty even, so Alban is still even in the race of who is going to be able to get that level 6 first, which is very, very important for this lineup.
It's very important indeed. Now we can see Alban chilling out in the top lane. Prebi killing that little ward in the Pixel Blue Sign. Actually, it's going to turn into a gank right now. Double flashes going out immediately, and another flawless duet in the middle. Hold My Duet getting chucked down low, but Sebel has been caught under the tower there. So that's just a little bit of a mistrade, I must admit. Hold My Fox definitely keeping his head cool despite being down in CS. And we're going to see a flash engage on Rek'Sai's here as well, just for the triple gank right now. We're seeing a lot of flashes, and the death sentence does not connect. Undercover Potato, that's a very sad boy right there. Unfortunately for you, not quite connecting this time. But you burnt the flash. Now there's a next time, my friend.
Yeah, crucial misplay there from Copenhagen Flames, not able to get more advantages from this bot lane. Wasting a flash of Prebi, which is pretty goddamn unfortunate, given that he's now not going to have it until he hits that level 6. So he's going to be a bit behind on trying to get his lanes ahead.
We're going to see a lantern gank here. Surely we're going to see the death passage, and we are. That's going to be the tunnel forward, the stun up. Here comes the death sentence. That's going to be a flash again. Coco Latte definitely respecting that kill potential and made the right choice. Good job, my friend.
And Tauber, by the way, who's called Coco Latte, because, well, he apparently got kicked from the lobby and had to rejoin on a Smurf, has been getting so many good stuns off, cancelling both of these ganks of Prebi thus far, making sure that Copenhagen Flames aren't able to generate even more pressure now. Nikolai is super low and is forced out of the bot lane, which is pretty goddamn good for Tarek and Zona, because now, again, they're gonna be able to just farm up, and they're somehow gonna be even able to pick up a couple of turret plates, which isn't something that you see too terrifyingly often from a Tarek and Zona bot.
Not very often, I must admit. I imagine Tauber has decided to... Hold on, we're seeing a little bit of tickling in the mid lane at the moment. It's turning quite aggressive. Sebel losing at the moment to Hold My Fox. But that's the Ninja's tabbies working out in their favour. And it looks like Hillerød are just going to decide to collapse over the dragon right now. But we're also seeing a catch out in the mid lane. Hold My Fox is getting chunked down. But Undercover Potato going with it. Oh, he lands the death sentence. The Vanguard going down and the Ignite as well. Aftershock isn't going to help you there, my friend. You're already dead.
That was nasty. Jesus Christ. It was wonderful. I feel like you, as a Thresh main, really love to see those hitboxes work in your favor, don't you?
Oh, yes. You have no idea. Every time one of those hooks hits, I'm like, all right, let's go. I'm a mad life. I'm going to be the baddest Thresh in the entire world. And then I get a bit of Thresh syndrome. I go in and I just die. And then it's kind of like, wait, what happened to my highlight play? Never mind, I'm actually kind of boosted.
However, instead, Undercover Potato clearly not being the boosted one in this scenario, getting a couple of crucial early game kills, 2 kills now, sitting on Sebel from that one early play. Undercover Potato hits another Q.
Death sentence and a flay coming out there. Just trying to do a little bit of additional damage, nothing too major, and we're seeing more trading in the mid lane. But Hold My Fox, even though he's 1-2, this guy is doing very well at the moment to hold his own lane. Definitely not afraid of this fairly strong Aurelia at the point in the game. And that's another gank in the bot lane. Prebi getting in there with the knockup and the flay, and that's just going to be an easy kill onto Villadsen. No need for an ignite that time. That was just straight up, we're just going to kill you because you're not level 6. Sad times for this bot lane right now. Getting a lot of pressure. Nocturne has his level 6 now, so maybe we're going to see a play come out in the mid or top while these guys force down a lot of these turret plates.
Can definitely be the case. Settle trading once again with Hold My Fox. Camera is going to pan away from that. Apparently nothing major.
We're seeing the paranoia down on the top lane, and that's just going to be fart control going down there. And Sebel barely escaping from Hold My Fox there. that was a very, very intense moment, I must admit. But at the end of the day, Hillerød are definitely feeling a little bit more confident now. And we need to point out the fact that Fart Control, granted, he's been holding his own so far. He's actually almost down double the CS of Shim right now, which is really, really rough, I must admit.
And Fire Control is playing this super back on this Riven because he cannot really go into that river and get himself that vision. So he cannot really try and be aggressive at all against this Ryze, again, because he has the range advantage as well as because of the lack of vision. Now, I'm still holding my breath. Undercover Potato flashes
that's just
in.
a Hex Flash and the Death Sentence. The sidestep coming in very, very well there. But the Cosmic Radiance came down just to be safe by Turbo, which was very, very good and very respectful of him. But maybe, I don't know, maybe just relying on Village Center to just throw out the Crescendo and save that Cosmic Radiance for a later teamfight might have been the more effective route. Nevertheless, still a good play in the end, keeping himself and his carry alive.
And at this point, this is going to be the story for the bot lane. Preby has done as much as he could in there, but now it's level 6s for Taric and Sona. You are not going to be ever able to gank and get a kill off of it. So now he can try and put his attention elsewhere. Fire Control comes to mind as Sebel misses the crucial flawless duet, but never mind. Now
we're seeing a lot of dancing around going on over this bot lane. Some blind hooks coming out from Undercover Potato as well right now. But we need to respect the idea that Albin has almost got his paranoia back up. He is potentially going to be spotted on the vision. Nope, he's going to walk all the way around, which is respectful, and head towards that mid lane. But Preby's going to sense him as well. Both these junglers meeting each other. Now, it's just going to be a little bit of back and forth over this ward right now. Sebai has the priority because the wave needs to be cleared, so they're just going to have to allow the ward to be killed right now. So nothing too major. You can see this bot lane as well from Copenhagen definitely having the priority constantly with the push, and now we're seeing 4 guys in the bot lane. We do not have the Cosmic Radiance, but we do have the Crescendo, so Albin should know the paranoia is up, and I think we're going to see a party in the bottom lane. Maybe not. Oh, that's a shame, isn't it?
Fire Control in the meantime trading into Shim in the top lane. It's just such a sad sight to see this Riven getting bullied by Ryze this early on. Remember, it's Shim playing with an Aftershock, so no way that it's
that's just going to be Shim. Oh, he doesn't quite get the kill.
Shim?
He's to the turret! Shim, what are you doing?
That was a very good blue-purple man to try and do, but he gives a kill.
It's just painful. I feel really bad for Shim. He's been playing the lane so well, and we're seeing Albin coming out to the mid lane. Flawless duet goes down, but it isn't going to connect, and we're going to see the junglers meet up again right now, and Albin does have the advantage now with the lethal tempo. We're going to see the gauntlet come out, and he's flashed away immediately, but the backup is here. Hold My Fox is now in a 3 versus 1. Flawless duet misses, and he's knocked up. TP's coming in right now. Paranoia is down. Vanguard misses as the Paranoia comes down, and the bot lane is here. Oh, that Ryze is doing some serious damage, and it's a 2-for-1 in favor of Hillerød Esport, and that's just going to be Kaiser picking up a kill on the backside as well on Villagson there, making that a 2-for-2. Killer Instinct coming in clutch and making sure he could secure that kill. What a game we are having right now.
And that's what we wanted to see, though, these early game plays from both sides, and Nikolai able to pick himself up his first kill of the game by just chasing this poor Sona down. In the meantime, however, 2 of those teleports were expended. Sorry, just 1. It was just Shim teleporting in, and he's already putting in so much work on this Ryze, which isn't something that we precisely expected of him on this pick, but regardless, he's playing super goddamn well right now. And we have to see Copenhagen Flames try and step up their game, because their gold lead is even. And remember, they're on a timer. If they are unable to get even more leads for themselves, it's gonna be so difficult for them, as Ryze gets a scaling, and Sona and Taric are going to start grouping with their team, which they are now allowed to do, because again, they have their ultimates, and they have the 3 TPs in their team, which we haven't really talked about, but it allows for them to just play through the mid game very easily, just because they can rotate so goddamn well.
The rotations are very clean. Now, guys, I want to bring your attention over to the gold lead at the moment. We can see Copenhagen chilling out with only about 300 to 400 gold advantage over Hillerød, even after getting the first blood and holding out so well. We're seeing another trade go down in the mid lane. It's not going to be too major, I don't think. The level up coming in there But Undercover Potato is here, and he's gonna... Oh,
Okay.
That was a really good death sentence, but it's not going to be enough. And we're seeing a gank in the top lane as well as Premi goes in. Fat Control and the flash coming out and Shim as well, but that's going to be an execute on the over of Fat Control going in there with the Blade of the Exile. Definitely making sure he can get himself back into this game. And I want to see Fat Control pick up the Hex Flash, and there's another gank in the mid lane. Paranoia goes in, and that's just going to be Sebo popping out as well.
However, this is very, very detrimental now for the side of Copenhagen Flames because they're trading kills. They're not getting them. They're not getting these advantages. They're instead just getting something on one side of the map and losing something on the other. And that's not what you want to be doing with this lineup. Aurelia is completely unable to 1v1 Poppy at this point. It's so depressing to see, and Hillerød, they're now coming together, they're now starting to play together, and their teamfighting composition is just that much better than that of Copenhagen Flames, that if Flames don't pick up even more kills right now, again, it becomes so difficult, and we need to see Prebi step his game up. We saw him play with Fart Control. One gank onto Shim is all that this Riven needed. No item completed just yet in 15 minutes, and well, we kind of have to see more engages happening because else... I don't want to say that it's completely lost for Copenhagen Flames, but it might as well be.
I wouldn't say it is and might as well be either at the moment. I feel like at the moment Prebi should be aware that his bot lane is ahead. So now is the time for him to just say, all right, okay, these guys aren't going to be able to kill anymore. Thresh has his Mobies. So, nope, instead he's going to go for the double play, and that's just going to be Crescendo going down. Oh, and Villanson gets popped before the Cosmic Radiance can finish, and that's just going to be another death sentence right before the minions come through Flay, and that's just going to be Nikolai securing the kill on the Kaiser. Just as I was saying, maybe not bother with the bot lane, put your attention into the top lane, where the Riven needs a little bit more help, but nope, he's just going to go back to the bot lane and kill them anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why Taric and Sona bot lane isn't broken, because remember, if you give 5 kills in the early game to your lineup, you can just burst them before the Cosmic Radiance can come through. It's not OP at all, doesn't need a nerf. So now, bot lane of Hillerød Esport go down. Copenhagen Flames are able to pick up themselves a tier 1 turret in the bot lane, the first turret of the game, not going to be able to cash in on the turret plates as they had gone down at minute 14, but still, it's a nice little objective to have, even though we haven't really mentioned this yet, but Alban has been keeping tabs on this Dragon Control. Air and Ocean now in their pockets safely, not giving anything to Copenhagen Flames for free.
Trying his absolute best. We're seeing another flawless duet going on, and a lovely trade back and forth. Hold My Fox doing a lot of damage. The Conqueror is now stacked up, but Seba lost the trade again. Now, I really like that Alban has put his priority around these objectives, around these massive dragons, this juicy little Herald, just to make sure that his team has a little bit more priority. But as you can already see, the bot lane of Copenhagen have rotated to the top lane. So now, hopefully, we're going to see Shim swapping over as well, just to make sure that we stop the lane presence from going completely out of hand, as we see Taric up here already, and Villanson should be joining ever so soon into that top lane, just trying to secure that last bit of farm, definitely behind on the rotations, and we are seeing right now the very strong side of Copenhagen Wolves coming into play with some of their objective, not with their objective control, just with their overall learning prowess. But we're only 16, 17 minutes into this game, and it looks like we're going to see another gank in the top lane.
However, Herald does go through for the mid lane, and this is what I really love to see from Hillerød. It's something that we have always known them for. It's playing around the map and around the objectives. And so, even though they had the inferior early game comp, they're somehow managing to find these leads just 2k gold behind. I'm saying just, in quotation marks of course, but it's still good given this composition. They're able to chunk the second tier turret in the mid lane for half its HP and pick up the first one, which overall gives them so much more of a potential to just control this vision department, especially now that they have these 3 TPs to work with.
Now, I need to hold on. The trade in the mid lane, Hold My Fox, is completely called out. We're going to see the Killer Instinct go down, but Prebi is going to secure the kill. Now, I was about to applaud Hillerød for their rotations and their control of the map, but then Hold My Fox just getting completely caught out there in the mid lane, and that's just going to be a mid-tier 1 dropping down. So that's a sad time right there, I must admit. But as I was saying before that moment happened, Hillerød doing so well to secure the Herald, managed to force it in the mid, as well as secure the second cloud of the game. But I think They're not going to be able to knock. They are. That's a 3-man crescendo and a paranoia going in. And that's just going to be a lot of people popping down. That's going to be the Cosmic Radiance as well. And the teleport from the Rise Vanguard going down. But it's way too late. That was a 3-0 in favor of Hillerød Esport. And these guys just turned on the switch once again. Caught with their pants down at the end of their rotations. But they just said, you know what, screw this. We're going in and we're just going to kill you guys instead.
And this is what happens when you're playing into a Taric and Sona, and you come into mid-game. Sona just flashes forwards with the Crescendo. She doesn't have almost any cooldown on it, so she's able to do so almost indefinitely. And Rise right now just spreading all of the lovely spell fluxes, I believe it's called, and then just blowing everyone up. It's almost impossible to play into, because as long as you are the one being engaged upon, you cannot do anything. The chain CC is so long, and everyone on the side of Copenhagen Flames is super squishy. So Hillerød, they're just able to find a really huge fight. They're able to take so much away from Copenhagen Flames, and now they are the ones in the lead.
Chilling out in the lead right now. They've got that Sona with the Klepto, who is now online, managing to pick up the Archangel staff. We're going to be seeing the Lich Bane come out of Villadsen next, and it just seems like Hillerød are doing their absolute best to make sure that they can stay ahead in this game. So, as we can see, we've got about 30 seconds left until the Baron comes up, and we can see 3 Oracle's lenses, well, sweeping trinkets on the side of Hillerød. These guys are going to be setting up very, very quickly for the Baron right now. We can see over Potato using Preby's assistance just to clear a pink around as we get into the moments where we start the battle for vision and then the Baron dance as this game continues. And I must admit, based on what I'm seeing so far, Hillerød Esport are now in a position where if we have a Baron dance, these guys are just going to win it based off of the fact that Copenhagen are deciding to stay grouped up. And by grouped up, hold on, we're seeing a gank in the top lane as we're going to see the Sona going down. And that's going to be Cosmic Radiance nowhere near in time. And it's just going to be a party. And we're seeing the right side going in undercover. Potato picking up a kill. And the flows duet for the 3-man stun right there. Prevy shutting down 2. Riven is here. And that's going to be the Poppy down as well. All my folks is dead. Shim being stood up just before the round walk can come through. And that's going to be the ace. All of a sudden for Copenhagen Flame right there. And that should be the Baron, and I'm sorry, they won a 5v4 without the Kaiser.
And we doubted them. We really did, but that's the caster curse. You say something and immediately the other thing comes true. Copenhagen Flames find a very, very crucial team fight by just catching Sona out. And Taric wasn't there to really get the Cosmic Radiance off properly. So no matter how much Hillerød tried to win that fight, no matter how much they wanted, it was Copenhagen Flames' fight to take. Remember, they still have a lot of damage, and this is what we need to see. We need to see them being the ones to get these engages, because if they get one crucial pick on the side of Hillerød, if they blow up one of their squishies, there truly isn't much that Hillerød can do, because they all rely on just playing together as a team instead of just playing solo, unlike Copenhagen Flames. So a really crucial pick and a really crucial Baron right now, as they can completely split the map.
Is it me, or am I seeing Torba picking up what's looking like he's going to go for the Abyssal Mask so that he can help his team with the additional AP damage right there?
Could very well be. He is sacrificing a bit more of that armor, so that... You said that it was a full AD team playing into them. We would be expecting him to be building more of an armor, but he's just opting for the passives. At least that's what it seems like. Shim possibly getting caught out here.
Oh, completely caught out. Stunned up, locked up, flawless duet. That's a perm stun. The crescendo coming in though, and the Descendant's barely missing, but that's going to be enough just for Shim.
Alban.
And now Alban has been completely caught out with his pants down right there. You went just a little bit too far. We're seeing Poppy come in right now, able to knock away, but we're seeing Fart Control go in on the backline with Sabel right there, and that's just going to be another 4v1 as Torba finally goes down as well. This is turning into what was a really strong game for Hillerød Esport, scaling very, very well, itemizing correctly, and we've just seen them completely switch off for the last 3-4 minutes, and the game has gone from being incredibly even to a 6k, almost 7k goal deficit on the side of Hillerød right now. We're just seeing Copenhagen Flame completely take over this game so suddenly.
And that's what I pointed out in the picks and ban phase. One single misstep from Hillerød can even cost them the game at this point, because the catch-out potential on Copenhagen Flames is so huge. You see Preby flashing and knocking Shim up. Thresh is there to follow up. You get the chain CC from Aurelia as well as Riven. And if you, again, kill one damage dealer on the side of Hillerød Esport right now, it's almost impossible for them to win a following fight. And so Copenhagen Flames, they're just able to pick up one kill and snowball that into so much more, picking up that inhibitor in the bot lane, able to open up the map again, so much more. Cloud Drake now open, the third one of the game, so definitely the favor isn't no, the fortune isn't in the favor of either of the teams right now, but it should be the Flames' Drake to take, as they're still just grouping around the mid lane, taking away any sorts of vision from Hillerød.
Taking away a lot of vision, definitely going to be able to choke them out now. I believe they still have the Baron buff available, and they're just trying to set up a potential Fnatic push, but the vision is going down nice and safely, just to make sure that they can't get caught with their pants down. But now we're going to see everyone rotating and chilling out over this top lane, and that's just going to be the turret getting brute force down by the cannon minion alone. Hillerød know they can do absolutely nothing right now unless they decide to play as a team. And I'm not going to lie, I don't want to sound toxic, but I kind of want to throw a lot of question mark pings around Torba, who is Cocolate on the Taric right now. Based on his itemization, I would have much rather seen him pick up or rush towards the Iceborne Gauntlet after picking up the Tabbies, purely because he'd be able to slow them down, he'd do some damage, he'd have the CDR for his heals, because no doubt he would be maxing Q, and it would go insanely well with his passive. So overall, it should just help the team and help him out with his cost consumption on mana, but it's supposed to be a little bit of a concern right now. So I'm really unsure on the decision for the build right now. Granted, I can see 5 Ninjas Tabbies for Hillerød, but I don't think it's enough at the moment. Unless we can get 2, I'd like to see the 30-minute mark, but they've thrown themselves pretty far behind. So unless they get a really good team fight from Copenhagen playing really bad, I just don't see it happening. So it's going to be actually around the 35-minute mark now before Hillerød can come online and stop these guys.
And the thing is, Rice is still scaling up. He has managed to pick up that Archangel Staff, or sorry, Serap's Embrace, and he is super tanky now, given that he has finished Righteous Glory as well as Zonius, so he's not gonna get bursted down in the first minutes, or first seconds of the fight, should I say, as it has been a couple of times now. And given that he's playing in the side lane, he has been getting caught out quite a bit. It has resulted into a bit too many objectives for the side of Copenhagen, but it's still nothing to look at and say, alright, this game is over for Hillerød. They can still find a good win. We have seen them getting there engaged themselves. Again, it's for both these teams. If they get a good engage on, if they delete the enemy's backline, they can win the fight. It's the case for both of them. It's just that Copenhagen have been on point with catching members like Shim, like Villadsen out. And, well, we have to see Hillerød play a bit more conservatively or try and regain their vision, which is what they have done in the top side now, and then try and go for plays themselves. But it has to be in their full form, because else it's Copenhagen's playing Flames' game to win. Because, well, the stakes are high, the death timers are long, and the inhibitor has been taken.
The inhibitor has been taken. As you were saying, Copenhagen Flame gonna be doing some serious damage here. We're seeing a potential catch. Nope, Undercover Potato doesn't quite want to go for the pick there. So we're seeing Hillerød play a little bit more respectful. Now, we need to be able to keep an eye on the farm from Copenhagen right now. As we can see, they're not going to be able to get any farm in the bottom lane as the inhibitor has been taken. But now we're just going to see the rush on Baron, which is on 10k. 9k. Oh, they do this Baron so quickly with the Kaiser. It's on 5k. I don't think Albin's going to be able to do this on the ward. Oh, my goodness. The Keeper's Verdict is able to knock away the jungler. And Albin manages to secure the smite right there. That was an incredibly good steal coming out with Hillerød going in for some insane damage and team play. But is it going to be enough as we see the fight go down? The Cosmic Radiance is down, and we're seeing Hold My Fox flash away. The Radiance is down. The Vanguard is going down as well, and we're seeing a 2v1 crescendo going down. But Sona doesn't have the damage. These guys need to get the hell out of there and use the Baron while they can. Torba, and that's going to be another 10 sentence landing onto Shim. And we're going to see Preppy, no, doesn't quite go down. Barely living with the help of the heal, and I believe that was a locket as well, just to keep the guy alive, so very, very lucky there. And Villadsen just isn't doing the damage at the moment, but that Baron steal, I have to give you props, Hillerød. Albin and Hold My Fox, that was some incredibly good teamwork right there.
Albon proving his worth on this Nocturne right now. Again, the newest addition to the lineup of Hillerød, now shining as the example of how you should try and steal every single Baron, which is, well, without contestation, because there was no smite in the pit. But regardless, it was a very, very crucial steal that now allows Copenhagen Flames to again stall this game out. They are buying themselves time for this rise. They're buying themselves the time that they need to give these items to their most important carries. And well, I technically like their favors. It's still just the bot lane inhibitor that has been taken by Copenhagen Flames. They also used up both of their TPs, so they cannot use their 1-3-1 comp as effectively as some other times when these summoners are up. And so, Hillerød, they now have about 5 minutes where they can just hold. They can just hold these objectives and again, just wait. Rise currently sitting on still those 3 items, but looking to be a lot more scary as soon as he gets even more.
This Rise on the 3 items, but he's got almost 1.5k gold sat in his bank account right now. This guy is going to turn it into a very big, scary monster. And we're seeing the paranoia. Oh, stun coming in. The Dark Passage isn't going to be enough, and we're seeing the Realm Walk come in too, and we're seeing these guys come forward. That's going to be the use of the Righteous Glory just to pick up some speed, and Cover Potato is going to be able to keep walking away. He has been caught out, will be shut down by the Stoner. That's not what you want to see. A Thresh actually providing a shut down piece of gold. Granted, it was only 150, but still. Now, I have to bring our attention again to this Taric. He's actually gone for the Abyssal Mask. Now, as much as we want to be a little bit like, what the heck are you doing? Maybe I should explain just a little bit more. We need to remember, guys, we're seeing a potential... Nope, we're not going to see another pick come out right now. So, the Abyssal Mask, one of its passives is that nearby enemy champions will take 15% more magic damage. And when your reliable carries right now are literally Shim on the Rise and Villadsen chilling out with the Sona trying to do some damage, I kind of see why he's going for it, but I would have rather have seen Torba pick up something such as an Alistair if you were going to go for that sort of a game. At least then you could rely on yourself to be tanky and force a solid engage. Granted, you wouldn't be able to protect Villadsen as well, but I think it would have been a better risk to take on. Maybe just don't go for the Sona Taric combo at all. Maybe switch it up, try something such as what I recently saw in a solo queue game that made a lot of people sad, was a Taric Leona in the bottom lane.
We don't talk about that. No, it's
that
disgusting.
Was disgusting. It was a very sad time. I genuinely felt bad for the guys I was playing against.
Yeah. I mean, the bot lane kind of cheesy picks, if we want to call them that, even though I dislike the name. They're pretty coming up online right now, but I feel like Taric and Sona has proven its worth in this game for Hillerød Esport already. They have been putting in the work, even though it's not something that you see too often, because they are the ones to get engaged upon more so than they are the ones to engage. Every single time that you see Villadsen stepping forward with the crescendo prepared, it always finds a crucial pick that Hillerød needs to be able to survive in this game, and it would be working less if Copenhagen Flames didn't make these missteps. But again, these players are still just humans, and they still make these missteps that have caused this game to stall until the 30th minute. And I said that at 30 minutes, it should be a no-brainer game for Hillerød to win. Well, I am still a bit unsure right now. Even though Taric is now finally going to be able to itemize into that armor that you wanted him to see, well, I still think that Copenhagen Flames can take the game, but that window is about to close.
It's definitely going to close. Now, I want to bring your attention, as I already said prior to this game getting even crazier out of control, I believe it was around 26 minutes, I said we need to be paying attention to the farm on these top laners. And Farm Control, in that 6-7 minutes, has only managed to pick himself up about 30 more farm, whereas Shim has almost doubled that as well. So, as we can see, taking this inhibitor constantly is actually starting to pull out a little bit more pain for Farm Control. He's struggling to farm, he's struggling now to keep up as Shim has completed his 4th item, and it's just going to get even more difficult from here, as this Rise in the late game is someone you want to be afraid of, and it's starting to look more and more useful is that Abyssal Mask on this Taric.
And the reason why that CS discrepancy is so huge in the favor of Rise right now is because as well, Fart Control has been playing around with his team more so than staying in the side lane. Every single one of his TPs has been expended to get into the fight, and at that point, Riven cannot really rotate around as effectively, so he has to play around his team. Now, to focus around more important matters at hand, Baron buff has spawned. The Vision Dance is going to start coming through once again, and if Hillerød are just for 1 second not knowing what's going on in the inside of that pit, it can go down incredibly quickly simply because you have this Kai'Sa at level 15 with 3 items.
3 items is looking kind of scary, but I must admit this Baron Dance is going to be a little bit of a pain in the backside right now. We can see the solid vision from Copenhagen Flame doing their job right now, but they're not quite able to advance far enough because they are afraid of the comp they're against. So they're just going to have to keep going back and forward until somebody runs out of wards. And I have a funny feeling it's probably going to be Hillerød first because they're not as prepped. And we're seeing the Flawless Duet coming out right now. We're seeing Fart Control getting caught out as well. Undercover Potato missing the death sentence. And we're seeing Preppy go in. And that's going to be a massive team fight breaking out right now. Cosmic Radiance has come down. But it hasn't secured just yet. Vanguard as well. And we're seeing it looks like Millicent has been completely caught out. But he's going to flash away. And we're seeing a shutdown coming down onto the Kai'Sa right now. That's going to be the Guardian Angel popped. And we're seeing Solar being popped down on the Guardian Angel right now. Fart Control coming back up. Being able to get a 3-4-man stun. But it's not going to be enough. And this is looking like a clean and easy team fight for Hillerød. Undercover Potato basically just chilling out right now, and I feel like this is the end of the game. We've seen Preppy trying to force something else, but I think that was the wrong call, my friend. They don't have the Baron. Maybe it's more worth to try and just sacrifice yourself for clearing that wave if you can.
And
just
that
to
was
make it more difficult, but I don't think it matters at this point. Undercover Potato doing his best with the death sentence as we see these Nexus turrets go down. That is a sad time. Oh, and Shim being caught out there, but no, Zilong is under and he's gonna die. No, he doesn't quite die under the fountain, unfortunately, there for Undercover Potato. Nevertheless, that was a very good game back and forth, and Hillerød just switched it around after one crazy team fight and took the win like it was nothing.
Yeah, such a chaotic team fight at the end, and it was very chaotic in its nature. Kai'Sa really unable to do anything because you're fighting against the Cosmic Radiance, and the lineup of Copenhagen Flames were completely reliant on bursting the enemy down. Kai'Sa wasn't in the late game stage where she could deal out so much of the consistent DPS to be able to chunk the remaining members down, and as a result of that, Hillerød were completely unimpeded in that last fight. Instead, they just bursted down the squishy members of Copenhagen, and nothing that the Flames could do to try and protect themselves from being extinguished as they lose this first game. And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be going into just a bit of a short break. Unsure how long that's going to be. I know that the players can request a 10-minute break, but don't you go anywhere, lovelies. Make sure that you have your food, your drinks, and your good spirits ready, because we're going to be back for the second game between Hillerød Esport and Copenhagen Flames. Once again, see you in a couple of minutes.
Oh my goodness, what a game we have just had here, Karen, my friend.
It was one hell of a game. It looked like Copenhagen Flames were gonna be able to take it, but in the end it was Hillerød coming out on top with just superior macro control and this late game scaling teamfight. Well, it was a bit disgusting. I feel like we have to see Flames kind of try to iron out their stuff a bit better, because a couple of the rotations didn't really look that smooth at times, but regardless, second game, fresh mindset, and let's see what they have prepared for us, because the first early game strategy didn't precisely work. Maybe they're gonna try and shake things up a bit.
Yeah, these guys are going to have to shake things up just a little bit. It reminds me of a song where they like to go, shake it off, shake it
God,
up. No,
no.
I'm not going to go too far into that. That's kind of cringe. I'm sorry. But yeah, they need to shake off what's just happened. I think, to be honest, for Hillerød there, that was a fairly strong game. Once we got towards that mid to late side, we are seeing ourselves get into Champion Select in a moment. Maybe it looks like. And I just want to say, I feel like there needs to be a drop of a ban. We need to see maybe the Rise getting banned. Yep, we're going to see the Rise getting banned. And I want to see, before this first rotation comes through, I want to see a Taric ban. Because clearly, it's just too much of a pain in the backside. Just ban the Taric, drop an early ban, and just say, all right, fine, you guys are strong with this Taric, but what are you going to do without it? We want you guys to face us properly 2v2 this time. Because obviously, they did very, very strong in the early game with the Thresh Kaiser, but I just feel like we need to see that Taric out of there, because it'll just stop any idea of Sona Taric, and whatever stupid combo you can come up with that could work. Just ban the freaking Taric and switch it into a standard 2v2 lane, because clearly you have the confidence with Nikolai and Undercover Potato to play aggressively. So if we ban the Taric, we might potentially even see Hillerød come out with a Thresh ban as well, just to make sure that Undercover Potato isn't on his standard one-trick Thresh.
And it could be, however, sitting on the opposite side of the spectrum, so they will be able to get their first duo pick in. So technically, they don't need to ban it now, they can lock it in themselves if they just so desire. And right now, the top lane is being heavily favored by the Hillerød when it comes to picking their bans, Thresh being the only one to kind of focus more so around the bot side of the map. Again, looking like they want to be going for something similar. Put Shim into a favorable matchup in the top lane, and in the bot lane, just, you know, go nuts.
That's
yeah,
100%
just
a bait right there. And they didn't even go for the first pick of the Taric. They've just left it open. Soda Taric is open. So I assume Hillerød actually have a plan of action if they're going to allow Copenhagen to just pick it up right now. And surely they must be very skeptical in their back of the minds. Or maybe it's even just a bluff to say, we don't think you'll pick it, so we're just going to pick it from you anyway. And I don't think they are. No, they're just not going to pick it. And I hate to say it, but I think Villadsen and Toba are just going to pick it up again.
Yeah, it can be. However, something like a Lucian is still open. Also, something like a Pike is still available for Tauber. And remember, the Braum and Lucian combo is also available, but it seems that it's going to be Hillerød focusing around their side lanes this time around. Hecarim, a pretty big flex pick right now, mostly in the jungle as well as top lane. I haven't seen Shim played just yet, so gonna be interesting to see where that one is gonna go. Galio, on the other hand, going for Undercover Potato means that picking a Taric on a bot lane would be pretty goddamn bad into it. But Silas, we haven't really seen this champion be picked in a while. Just do it for me. Alright, no.
It looks like we're going to see the new.
No,
the Nautilus. Right, the Nautilus. I was hoping something like this would come out, actually. So, over the last couple patches, we have seen nothing but Nautilus buff. This guy is on steroids once again. Nautilus is disgusting, a sad champion to be playing against. Now, the reason I love Nautilus so much on the side of Hillerød right now is Nautilus can play in the top lane, in the jungle, in the mid lane, as the freaking support. You have no idea where this Nautilus is going to go until the final draft comes out. At the moment, we're seeing the Hecarim, and I'm pretty sure it's just going to be Shin playing that Hecarim actually in the top lane. I think it'll stay there. But we still have a potential to see Alban maybe take the Nautilus into the jungle and keep the Aurelia in the mid lane. But at the same time, we're seeing the ban of the Braum coming out here too. So maybe they're respecting the idea that that is just going to be a Nautilus in the jungle or the top lane. It's really hard to tell because this is, quite honestly, a triple flex. And it gets to the point of, if you've ever seen the LEC, as Verius has said in the past, just if you're in doubt, just be a Flexius, you know? Just pick super Flexes, man. Pick flex after flex after flex. Flex on your opponents and make them feel like, guys, where the hell is everything going right now?
And the thing is, if I were right now to guess where every single one of these champions is going, it would be Aurelia going in the hands of Shim because we have seen him perform really goddamn well on it. Hecarim in that case likely going to Album, and Hold My Fox instead dropping Nautilus to Tower because it does suit his playstyle, and Hold My Fox is mostly known for playing burst mages as well as assassins. So right now, that Braum ban can be something that is going to hurt the side of Copenhagen Flames in the long run. They also managed to take out Draven, so likely it is going to be them opting into a bit more of a safe bot lane this time around. Once again, Kai'Sa is still available, looking to be, however, more engaged on their side, perhaps proving me wrong. Lucian is still open for them as well as Ezreal, so it can still be the early game focused comp that we expected of them.
Taric is still open, and I don't want to say it too soon, but maybe we could actually see an Aurelia Taric bot lane. I really don't want to see that, but Taric is still open right now, and I'm praying that they're not going to divert because they've got a very solid comp. And as you were saying about Hold My Fox, playing these burst assassins, you need to respect the fact that Nautilus going AP can actually burst the hell out of somebody. You might call me a low elo scrub for that, but I promise you, if you go Nautilus and then go Protobell, and then just a lot more AP on top of that, it doesn't matter who you're against in that mid lane, you're actually going to blow the hell up out of them anyway, especially in the early to mid game. There is just no counterplay to that max Riptide and AP damage, and the passive, it's just too much damage.
Right now, looking to be the Karthus to round on the composition, so it is going to be Nautilus playing in the support role. Sorry to burst your bubble, it was kind of obvious when they locked in Lucian. Technically, okay, if we want to go super flex pick, it can be Lucian top lane, right? But, you know, I don't think that's going to be the case happening. Annie now being hovered, is that going to be a placeholder? We're going to have to check the Discord, ladies and gentlemen, for that, just to get it confirmed. It's not there yet, so bear with us. If it's going to be Annie, likely going to be moving into the jungle now? Okay, it is a placeholder, cool. So we're going to have to wait and see what the players decide to tell us. It's an Ezreal. Alright, so, damn, I almost... Okay, Galio Ezreal, bot lane, playing into a Nautilus and Lucian. That's gonna be one hell of a bot lane to watch, ladies and gentlemen, because so much kill pressure. As you said, Nautilus deals a surprising amount of damage in the early game, but so does Galio. And given that Ezreal is so difficult to lock down, especially with champions that rely mostly on skill shots to hit their CC, which Nautilus definitely is, there should be no way in hell that Copenhagen Flames are gonna get caught out, and it's mostly gonna rely on mistakes or on Hillerød getting a gank from that lovely horse in the jungle that we are expecting him to play.
Definitely. I feel very, very afraid right now for this Nidalee. I'm not going to lie. And the reason I feel so afraid for this Nidalee is because anyone can play Nidalee who is mechanically gifted and has a brain. But my concern is, especially in this sort of division right now, where everyone is literally between like Diamond, Master, Grandmaster, I'm slightly concerned for the Nidalee based on everybody who is here has, I would hope, is playing with a mouse and not a tracking pad. Ooh. And it's a concern to me because as long as you can, it doesn't matter, as long as you're literally not stood directly next to the wall when a spear comes over, you have a mouse. Chances are 9 times out of 10 you should be able to sidestep it if you give the respect and pay attention to the fact that you are facing a Nidalee. But if these guys just fall asleep for even a moment, this Nidalee could pop off insanely quick and blow somebody up, and nobody wants to see that. But right now I'm seeing an interesting way of these guys locking in their champions. I'm assuming they are going to swap it around, because I really don't want to be seeing Shim on this Nautilus. Not when I would rather see the support or the mid lane take that right now.
And see, with this Nautilus now in the hands of Shim, I feel like my brain has just disintegrated because I've completely forgotten all of the champions that were locked in. So there was Lucian and damn, who was the last one?
It was Lucian and was it not the it wasn't the Nidalee because we got the Karthus locked in.
Right?
What the hell was it? I give up. I don't even know anymore. Let's just see what happens. It was Lucian and who was it? Come on, show us. Just tell us. Irelia.
All right.
All
So
right. Okay.
yeah, it's not gonna be Nautilus playing in the top lane. Okay, technically, I think I have seen a couple of Irelia support games. I think, but I really don't think that it's gonna be the case. If it is, it's gonna be super, super interesting, but no, it's gonna be swapped for Tauber. It's okay. I thought that we were gonna get some shenanigans, but as I said, Shim is also gonna be playing on something that he is very comfortable on, and if there is something that he has proven to us in the first game, is that he can pop off really goddamn well if he is in a favorable matchup, and playing into an Akali can be a surprisingly Irelia favored one. However, it still does come down to the execution more so than anything. I hear you. Hacker in mid lane for Hold My Fox?
What? Hold on. No. Okay, they're trolling.
Wait.
Trolling. Okay, these guys are actually trolling us right now.
They are. Goodness. Definitely. Wait, I'm wondering. Oh yeah, so this. What the hell is going on right now?
So it looks like everybody's just gonna try troll the hell out of us.
I am so sad that you guys aren't seeing this on stream. They have swapped like 4 times.
This is not what the casters need right now, guys. Can you just stick to your picks, please?
God damn it. They're actually trolling us.
Okay, right. So, let's go through this properly now. Shim is on the top lane with the Hecarim. He's gone TP, Ignite, and he's going to be facing Fart Control with the TP and Flash on this Vladimir. I feel as long as Shim has that Ignite, he has the kill potential and the pressure into Fart Control, but I'm not so sure it's going to be an easy lane for either of these guys. I do believe Vladimir should have the earlier presence. But nevertheless, I would not be surprised if we saw Skarner maybe go blue, Wolves, red buff, top lane. But at the same time, we'll probably see something similar from Alban just to make sure that there isn't the early crazy pressure that we're going to see in the top lane. Because we saw what happened last time. We finally got to see Shim get a kill in that top lane. Sorry, not Shim. Fart Control in that top lane on the Riven with the help of Prebi. They came in, did a single gank, and holy moly, this Riven went from being struggling like hell to actually doing a lot of damage. So it was kind of painful. So I kind of want to see some more presence in the top lane. Clearly, these guys can carry and they can perform. So with the Lucian Nautilus in the bot lane, as well as the Ezreal Galio, we're going to probably see Tauber wanting to roam a little bit. I don't see Ezreal Galio wanting to force too much early on. Nevertheless, we might see Villitsin and Tauber say, you know what, they were aggressive last time, so let's just force it and see if we can actually kill these guys instead. It's going to be a bit of a cluster bomb, shall we say. There's going to be action up and down this map, I imagine.
Definitely. Because now the kind of scenario is almost turned on its head in the case of Hillerød, where last time around it was Alban doing most of the work in the early game, and he did a fantastic job of it, by the way. Now he's going to be sitting on Karthus, he's just going to be farming, and the only real lane that he has enough setup in before level 6 is going to be that Nautilus in that bot lane. After level 6, he can roam also to top lane and try and relieve this pressure that is going to likely be put on Shim from Prebi and Fart Control. But until then, Shim is likely going to be struggling a tiny bit, even though he does have the burst on his Hecarim. We should not be forgetting that. And yeah, so I think he's going to be going Conqueror. I, for some reason, thought that with this Ignite, he would actually be opting for, what's it called? What's the one that swaps your summoners?
Oh, the Spellbook.
Yes, the Spellbook. But yes, likely going to be the Conqueror regardless. And I'm really excited right now for this matchup as well. We haven't really talked about the Hold My Fox playing into Sybil. I mentioned it briefly that Irelia should be having the favorable matchup through level 1 and 2 against Akali, unless Akali opts into the Shroud at level 2, which is something that you see her do in more sort of defensive matchups. But these lanes are so snowbally, ready to just blow up. And right now, I feel like we can see Prebi put his mark on this map with this Skarner pick. So very, very exciting match that we have ahead of ourselves, ladies and gentlemen.
We're very, very slowly going to reload up on into this rift. So as we can see, Shim has gone for the Conqueror, which is nice. So he's going to have some pressure. And Fart Control deciding to go for the phase rush, sorry. That's my speech going absolutely terrible once again. Over the Kleptomancy. Now, honestly, I feel like it's probably a good decision But at the end of the day, even though you're into a Hecarim that is going to like to get a bit antsy in your face, I feel like the Klepto might have been the better option, because Alban isn't going to be able to just instantly gank you. It's not like Fart Control doesn't have any escape pace type of capabilities, because he has his Sanguine pool. That's all he needs.
Yeah.
Literally all he needs. He just has to pull every single time there's a forced engage, and if we see the Hecarim coming in with the devastating charge, you just Sanguine pool. Nope, you ain't charging me, my friend. You're just kind of running into a puddle, and you're just splashing about. You're not actually going to be able to kill anyone.
Yeah, and
which is sad.
It is sad. It's very sad seeing a horse be sad. Horses are actually very emotional animals. Did you know that? Like,
yeah, I did actually.
Yeah.
I actually work with a lot of horses as one of my
Really?
daytime jobs. Yeah, I've got 3
Wow.
horses and a pony to look after.
Oh,
Crazy.
that's actually amazing. I did not know that. Okay. Jesus
Interesting
Christ.
facts about the Fat Man. Here we go.
Right, so you're gonna be able to tell us all the ins and outs of this little horseman in the top lane, I presume. I can tell you, for example, something funny about this Vladimir, because since we're talking around the about the rune choice for the phase rush, given that he doesn't really want to be going for too many trades with his Hecarim, given that he has opted for the phase rush, it does mean that we can expect Prebi to be playing around that top lane, because if you choose phase rush, you want to be running your opponents down. You don't want to be playing this, as we say, how would you put this nicely? Coward Vladimir. No, coward Vladimir. You know, I think you know what I wanted to say, but regardless. Coward Vladimir, he's gonna be going pure alpha, just trying to run Shim down bravely solo with the help of this Scorpion in the jungle. But again, Prebi, he can go to any lane that he really wishes, because even though it's Lucian and Nautilus in the bot lane, Villanson is still surprisingly squishy and doesn't have as many escape tools as someone like Ezreal.
Doesn't have the escape tools that he might want. So we're going to see Nikolai having a lot of fun right now. He's going to be able to just dance around, kite away. But we've got Hold My Fox on this Aurelia. And I'm pretty sure as long as he manages to get his passive off, I believe it's the Ionian Fever, he's able to just Blade Surge straight towards anyone. Prolonging, he can keep that Fever stacked up on them. So all he has to do is land something like a Flawless Duet, Vanguard's Edge, or if he can get 3 autos, that's enough to stack it up. And I'm pretty sure if he can keep the stacks going on to Nikolai, it's going to be very difficult for this guy to escape. But this is why Undercover Potato is chilling out on that Galio. He's just going to be able to taunt the hell out of him and be like, hell nah, man, you might be able to go after my bro, but I'm going to do my best to protect you. That Shield of Durand is going to come in very, very clutch, as well as the Justice Punch, in order to keep Nikolai safe. But I will not be surprised if we see Galio using the Hero's Entrance to go in incredibly aggressively with the likes of Prebi, or maybe even Sebal, who might want to use, I believe it's called the Perfect Execution, I might be wrong with that one, on the Akali, to make sure that this guy can be like, oh man, let's just go in there and be like, well, we're going to stay alive, but we're going to kill you all. But we're not going to kill you all, because it's going to be insanely back and forth. Somebody's going to die, somebody's going to live, but nobody knows until we get out of this pause and into the game.
Yeah, we don't precisely know why this pause is going on, unfortunately, because we cannot read Danish, because, you know, we're not from that country, apparently. Just a second, I'm hearing the producer. Okay, so, it was because of the champions swapping around for the side of, I am presuming, Copenhagen Flames, because that's what, you know, got me and Fat Man really confused. Something that we reacted to quite, bitterly.
An invade coming on right now.
Right now, yeah.
And Torba does have the Dredgeline hook. He's going to land it. That's
good
going to
night.
be a stun with the passive. The instant flash on the Flawless Duet connects. And we're going to see the charge. He isn't able to knock Prebi back. And now he's just going to be able to escape. Flash burn. That was really, really good by Prebi. But at the same time, Shim, pretty unfortunate. Not quite able to get off the charge there and force him back into his team. Pretty sad time.
Yeah, it was a bit greedy of Shim that he decided to, you know, go for that little charge and managed to get this little Scorpion boy into his, how would you actually call them? Shrines, I guess? Crystals, I think they're called.
The actual crystals of something.
Yeah,
I don't know if
of
that
his
helps.
family, I think. Like, it's pretty goddamn brutal. But he managed to run away. He does get his flash forced, but it's not the worst trade for him, given that he doesn't really want to be affecting the map until, again, he hits that level 6. He can definitely try and do something that we talked about, which is trying to get fart control ahead over this Hecarim, but now, he's still gonna be not the saddest of Scorpions, as he still doesn't give any leads over to Hillerød, so not the worst of starts, even despite the invade.
Might have the invade. The vision is down to see if they can get a track onto him, but it's not going to be enough. We're going to see the Dredge Line hook connect, and we're going to see the taunt come out from undercover of Potato as well to proc the aftershock, but it's pretty rough right now, I'm not going to lie. Not the best trade in the world, but just to help us out after our earlier fumble, the Skarner passive is the Crystal Spires. I finally managed to pick up my giant book full of passives and spell abilities, so I feel a little bit more comfortable knowing that it's called the Crystal Spires.
Nice, yeah. Kachka is like laughing at us from the Twitch chat right now, especially at me, because, you know, he's kind of an asshole, but the bot lane of Hillerød Esport able to pick up the level 2 advantage very early on. Okay, it kind of bit my tongue there as we looked at top lane, Shim just charging in, but as you said, the lovely interaction between Sanguine Pool and everything in Hecarim's kit goes in the favor of Vladimir, and so nothing goes on, at least just yet.
Nothing just yet. We're just going to be seeing Sebel abuse that Cloaking Shroud. Granted, he's down a level, and he's still able to come out really even in trades. Even though Hold My Fox has the level advantage, it's not going to be anything too dire. And now that he's managed to get that level 3 mark, he'll have access to all 3 of his abilities required. So it's going to be a little bit more plain sailing. And to be honest, I keep looking down at this bottom lane, and I feel like it's going to be a very sad time until we get to level 6. We're seeing Sebel and Hold My Fox go at it again. A lot of this back and forth love tapping with the electrocute coming down, but Sebel is in a little bit of trouble. But we're seeing an engage going down onto Torba, but it's not going to be anything special. The taunt wasn't long enough to force an auto.
It was a good taunt, but Undercover Potato decided not to go through with even more as well. He's still playing into a Nautilus illusion, so one overextension, and he's absolutely dead, absolutely in the grave beyond the River Styx. How many words you want to use for it is up to you now. Billotson and Tauber already managing to push in that wave, 10 CS of an advantage already being built up at 4 minutes, which is pretty huge. Third place also going to be going in their favor, which is lovely to see for them. I'm actually really excited to be seeing this Akali put down her mark this early on. He has also opted in for the Electrocute on this champion, so he can be going for more early game trades. Dreadnought hits.
Oh, we're seeing a gank in the bottom lane right now as Cover Potato is caught out the flank, and that's just going to be the Requiem. And no, we're going to see another immediate kill in the mid lane as well. 2 for nothing, and First Blood going on over to Hillerød Esport right there. Very good early start indeed.
Yeah, definitely. That one Skittle coming through for Albin, picking himself up that kill. Karthus, of course, not being the one champion known for his early game, but still, if you give him a couple of kills, he's gonna be a very healthy skeleton-looking boy. Now, we didn't really talk about it, but Hold My Fox also managed to pick up a solo kill onto Sebel. Unfortunately, I didn't see it go through, which is a very big shame, but that's what I talked about when I mentioned that it's a really big skill matchup. As long as Akali has the Shroud, it's almost impossible to kill her as this Aurelia, as you cannot auto-attack or Q on top of her, but when she doesn't have it, you can just jump on top of her, auto-attack her until she's dead, as he doesn't really get that much damage before level 6, and now Hold My Fox in complete control over this mid lane. As I say that, he gets chunked for half HP.
Gets chunked for half HP, has to pop off that use of the corrupting potion there, just to heal himself back up, but he's got the team at the Vanguard just missing there, and now Sebel has the advantage, but he's going to get stunned up, and oh, he just gets deleted because of the Flawless Duet Conqueror, and we're going to see the Chilling Smite going down, stunned up, and the we're just not seeing a very fun time, but Prebi is actually losing this fight. I feel like he's going to go down, and he flashes away, and we're also seeing a battle in the top lane right now. Shim flashing under his tower, and we're still seeing the back and forth. Prebi, oh, that was really good by Prebi, but now we're seeing the Karthus.
The wrong side of the map.
Completely caught out right now. Using the Crystal Spires, and that's just going to be the Flawless Duet, and they're going to give Albin the kill. Nope. Hold My Fox is now popping off 3-0 on this Irelia. This is going to be a little bit of a sad time right now.
Gets jumped upon.
Sebal going in, gets the ignite. Albin trying to use the lane west, but it's not going to be enough. And that's just going to be a quick and easy 300 gold going on over to Sebal. Very, very good there. Using the Assassin's Mark with the Shuriken Flip to make sure he could lock down onto. And we see a trade in the bottom lane as well. The taunt's going down. And we're seeing a consistent battle right now. And Nikolai gets chunked down below half HP. And Torba just walking forward like a big bad boy saying, I ain't afraid of you, man. You might be a tank, but I'm going to just hit you anyway.
There's so many fights right now going on all over the map. Hillerød coming out on top in every single one of them. Even though Albin did manage to overextend and give a kill to Sebel, now you are going to be having Hold My Fox with 3 kills in the mid lane. Sebel doesn't have access to the perfect or flawless execution right now, so... Or perfect. Is it perfect?
I think it is the perfect execution.
Right.
The ultimate.
So
I believe he's just got it up, actually, so he should be okay.
Fancy, fancy.
However, I feel Sebel is very much kind of stomped at this point until he can get a reset because he got the kill secured. But that was on. Hold on, we're seeing the Hemo play going down onto Shim. He's just leveled up, and that's going to be the ignite. And no, he's not quite going to go down.
No way!
Here as well, he doesn't have a stopwatch and a trade in the mid lane. Sebel is really, really low. He has his flash and he's able to just walk away straight into Leywist on the Karthus, and that's just going to be a double kill going over to Karthus. I hate to say it, but I feel like Copenhagen Flame Esport should actually be thinking about maybe Game 3. And I say that in a non-toxic way, but you've got a fed Karthus and a fed Irelia, and it's not going to get any easier from here, especially when your Vladimir wasn't able to secure a kill onto Shim in that top lane.
And you're talking about a Game 3, but we have to remember this is the best of 3, and Hillerød are 1 game up on Copenhagen Flames, so every single one of these missteps can be the crucial turn for Hillerød to take this series very cleanly 2-0 right now. Again, everything going in their favor. Every single one of these little skirmishes. Now, bot lane Tauber looking to set up a dive.
In the bot lane. Tauber's getting chucked down a little bit low. He's below half HP. He has the shield. As the flash gets the loot with the passive. And that's just going to be a hero's entrance. The Vanguard's edge and the culling and everything else on top. And we're just going to see Sebel and Vladimir chilling out in their mid and top lane respectively, trying to farm up what they can. But now this lead has transitioned to the bottom lane, and it's just going to get even worse. So, Copenhagen Flame, you got to come up with something quick, guys. And maybe don't kill this tower too early, as we see a potential fight building up right now. And the True Shot Barrage wasn't quite able to connect there for Nikolai, but I don't think it would have been able to kill Torba anyway. Nevertheless, I'm going to shut up and give Kerem a chance to speak in this game.
It's okay. I love hearing you. You know, you haven't been here in a while, so it's okay that you get some time to talk as well. But now, Hillerød completely in control of this game. Shim looking to go in onto fart control, so I'm going to pull Used.
Oh, that was a lot of damage. I bugged out like heck. We're going to see the onslaught of shadows on the Hilmo plate coming out. I don't think Shim's going to win this fight, to be honest. Fart controls.
Okay.
The Sanguine Pool didn't come up quite soon enough, so Shim definitely able to just kill Fart Control.
Yeah.
And that was really impressive, actually. And I just want to bring out, in the mid lane right now, Sebel is at a point, 1 and 3, kind of just trying to get towards that first item. Hold My Fox is doing insanely well with this wave management. And every time a flawless hits like this, and that's just going to be Sebel dying. He already knows it. Every time that flawless duet lands, Sebel is going to die.
And I feel like Sebel is, at this point, tilted, because these are mistakes that you should not be making. He wants to approach the wave, but Hold My Fox is always just freezing into... Oh my god, that was a good dredge line.
Dredge line was insanely good, but that's going to be some nice kiting coming out of Nikolai right there. Able to just jump away like it's absolutely nothing with that arcane shift. Kind of a busted ability, if you don't mind me saying.
Oh yeah, you could say that, I think. I think you're allowed to do that. But right now, I feel like we can kind of see perhaps a bit of an inexperience in the Copenhagen Flames lineup. Prebi in top
lane. We're seeing the charge coming out, and Prebi is
that's
going to be able to get the stun. The Impale is going to be enough, and that should be Shim going down with the stun. The Ignite's going to go down onto Fart Control, but it's not going to be enough, and surely Shim is going to go down. Fart Control getting very low, but Albin is here. He has the Requiem. There is no... Oh wait, no, does he?
What?
No, he doesn't have the Requiem. And we're just going to see a fight in the bottom lane as well, as Lucian kills Galio, but Prebi, he's got this shield, and he's...
Oh, Skittles!
Oh! the flash lay waste. It's just enough to secure the kill. If Sebel gets hit by the flawless duet here, he will die. Yep, that's going to be the Vanguard, but no, hold my fox. And he's going to get this.
Oh my
God. Be a kill on to Sebel right there. And that is some clean plays coming out of Hold My Fox in the mid lane.
And if if Sebel wasn't tilted before, he definitely is now. That was such a close kill for Hold My Fox. And right now, there isn't really much that you can do as this Akali, nor anyone on the side of Copenhagen Flames. Hillerød are playing this perfectly. They're utilizing their advantages. You cannot just control Shim in the top lane, even if you put Prebi there. And the rest of the map is once again in control of Hillerød. 2 turrets taken before minute 14, full turret plates taken with the usage of the Rift Herald in the top lane and with the usage of just raw manpower in the bot side of the map. This game is looking rough. It is. It really is.
It's 12 minutes in. We have got literally a 9k gold lead on the side of Hillerød right now in 12 minutes. And now we're just going to see the over-aggressiveness and cockiness coming out of some of these guys. Obviously, they're insanely far ahead, and Hold My Fox just able to land another flawless duet, but the cloaking is going to be just enough for Sebel there to stay alive. But we're going to see Shim hanging around now over this mid lane, but he doesn't want to commit because he has been spotted on the ward, so it's going to be a little bit difficult.
Doesn't look like he wants to be going for too much, of course. Shim is still pressuring this top lane, which is what we expected him to do, given that he does have that 1 kill advantage. 5-1 Alban, by the way.
Flash taunt going in right now as we see a party in the bottom and the true shot barrage going down, and that's going to be the extra solution flashing away immediately, and we're going to see the Imperial going down TP as well on Hero's Shout, and Hold My Fox is here now. He's ready to turn this around with the onslaught as well coming out, and that's just going to be a clean up crew arriving for Hillerød, and that is a 3-for-1. This is going to be a 4-for-1 as Hold My Fox goes in, the Sanguine Pool is used, and he's going to try and flash away, and he goes in with a power belt, but it's not quite enough.
4-0, or 4-for-1 now. Sebel goes in once again. That's okay, that's just tragic. That is unfortunate.
I feel for him.
Yeah.
I really do.
He really isn't having the time of his life right now. Alban, was he even in that fight? I don't think so. I think he was just doing the dragon.
Alban was chilling and then just popped the Requiem at the end there.
Yeah.
To kind of secure himself a kill. That's a lot of shutdown gold. Unless we see some insane over-cockiness or overconfidence, Undercover Potato just going to get caught out now as well. Stunned up the synergy in this Shim and Hold My Fox coming in with the combos right there for the flawless duet, landing with the backwards charge. Oh, that's just beautiful. This is the sort of stuff I want to see in pro play all the time. But these guys are basically almost there anyway, so it's nice to see this. It really is.
Yeah, it's really nice to see if you're a Hillerød player, if you're a player of Copenhagen Flames. I would say that you're happy to see this a bit less. 13k of a gold lead at 14 minutes in is absolutely brutal, but Hillerød's composition is built around it. Prebi overextended here.
Yep, Prebi's just been completely caught. We're going to see the flash root and just perma CC, including a bit of airborne from the drift line. Oh, Vanguard's edge popped as well. Bat Control doesn't have any form of escape or survivability, and that's just going to be Alban picking up another kill with the lay waste, and we see Gullickson go crazy far right now.
No.
And no, stop. He's almost dead. Please stop. Yeah.
Goodbye, soldier.
Goodbye.
All right. Okay.
I respect and salute you, my friend, but it's time for you to go. Rest in pepperoni. You will be sorely missed.
Yeah, he got unfortunately sent off to a happy farm to live out the rest of his days, and well, 7-1 Karthus 10 and no Irelia. This game is looking like Hillerød's to take. Baron hasn't even spawned yet, but if you see Lucian 1v1ing Akali, that's, not a good sign, I think that we can say, without too much debate. So Hillerød, they just take that top lane inhibitor turret, they take everything from the hands of Copenhagen Flames, and they look to just go back, reset, get even more gold, and just run over the lineup of Copenhagen Flames as, well, unfortunately, Sebel doesn't even have his Gunblade finished at 15th minute, which is, once again, a very unfortunate turn of events.
Very unfortunate. Sebel level 9 to Hold My Fox's level 11. And if you flick to the gold graph, you can actually see that Hold My Fox has well and truly over double the gold of his counterpart. If you look at all the lanes in general, the only other person that is actually at more than double farm would almost be the Nautilus in the bottom lane, but it's just not quite there. It's just really painful to see someone insanely far ahead, but this is what happens. Oh, that dredge line was beautiful. The Hemo play going down as well, but Hold My Fox is here. The dredge line is going to go down, and that's, sorry, the depth charge, and straight into the onslaught of shadows. You were feared and stunned and knocked up for days, and now you're dead, my friend. And that's just going to be another depth charge straight into the Impale, and Torber getting a little bit too greedy and cocky there, but that's just not what you want to see. But at the end of the day, a 1-for-1, not the worst thing for Copenhagen Flame at the moment, even though they're still genuinely struggling right now. But nevertheless, guys, it is not over till that Nexus goes. We are still in this. Willardson has potentially been caught out. He's in a 3 versus 1, and that's just going to be him going down, maybe. Yes, it is. Previ doesn't quite get shut down, and we're seeing the backline getting forced on. Undercover Potato being forced down, and Kali, oh, no, manages to flash away. The Requiem coming down.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. That triple kill with the Requiem for Alban. But I feel like that was literally just Hold My Fox and Willardson doing all the work, and all he had to do was press R and win the game for them.
And right now, Hillerød, they're just having fun. They're just running Copenhagen Flames over, unfortunately. They're overextending, but it doesn't matter. They're 15k gold up. They can pretty much do what they want, really. Luckily for Copenhagen Flames, the death timers are still pretty short, as it's still before 20th minute. Remember that, ladies and gentlemen. So they can still defend their base, but at this point, it's kind of, I dare say, delaying the inevitable, unless Hillerød decides to completely throw the game away by just going for dumb engages. They should be having this game in the bag, and I feel like Copenhagen Flames have to look at this game and think, alright, so what actually went wrong? And I dare say that it was them just, not respecting the engage potential of everyone on Hillerød. It was Sebel just getting a couple of bad plays in the mid lane, giving kills to Hold My Fox. It was Nikolai and Undercover Potato out overextending in the bot lane, getting caught by Tauber. And well, it's not really a big problem. You just kind of have to iron out these little individual mistakes, and you can reset completely mentally and go into different series with a much clearer mindset.
Definitely in need of a clear head. We're seeing Shim force his way forward. So, as you were saying about what went wrong in this game, we have to look in that mid lane. Obviously, Hold My Fox popped the hell off. So, there was a point where Seba was 0. Hold on, we're seeing another fight, and the Impale goes over the wall, and we're seeing Hold My Fox going straight in with the Florist Duet. She's stood up, she's shut down by the Israel, but it's not going to be enough. Previ is going to go down as well. It's now a 3 versus 4. The Dreadland hook lands onto Nikolai. The Requiem is going to come out as well. He doesn't have a stopwatch. He's going to go down.
Jesus
and that's
Christ.
Oh, Fat Control is able to pick up a kill. And Undercover Potato is able to just about get away. But you still have a Carthus. You still have... Oh, we're going to see a very cheeky taunt right there. Sebel actually disconnecting. That's really unfortunate. And that will be the game going on over to Hillerød Esport. But as I was trying to say... Seba was 0-3. He then picked up a kill onto Alban in the jungle, in his own jungle, and he went 1-3. If he tried not to go for the mental boom, the game was not over at that point. But I believe the game literally just got way too into his head, and it just became a mental boomage, which is really painful, especially for an Akali. Obviously, Akalis have to get ahead in order to be relevant in a game, but even when they're behind, they can still be strong as long as they just keep a mental boom. And yeah, you have to put a lot of flame onto Sebel for having that mental boom. But at the same time, I want to throw a question towards Copenhagen Flame as a team, as a whole, as a unit there. Because clearly, their mid laner was starting to feel the boom, the pressure. And I don't know if the rest of the team were actually giving him the mental support that was required there. Granted, he had a really rough game. But it's not just one player that loses a game, it's a team. And I feel like the support was needed more.
Yeah, I feel like there may be some bit over-the-top assumptions there, but perhaps,
Probably.
Who knows? Yeah, who knows? Sebel did just go mental bloom, as you say, unfortunately. I feel like it's kind of the Akali syndrome. It's very similar to something that you see in Yasuo players who just want to be going for these big plays because they know they have to get themselves ahead, and they don't really realize that, well, the opportunity for that has already passed. And in the case of Akali players, it might be very much the same thing. Remember that one play that he tried to go for and Hold My Fox survived with just 100 HP? That was likely a tilter. Of course, it wasn't just Sebel that missed a couple of his spots. It was also Nikolai and Undercover Potato getting caught out in the bot lane. It wasn't just one player, as you said, that loses you the game. It's mostly the team. And Hillerød, they played really well. They just got their advantages that they needed through simple individual outplays. And that's what we have seen from them last split, and it's something that we have seen from them now. However, first game, I feel like it was very, very even. Copenhagen Flames, of course, didn't really fulfill their promise of closing out the games before minute 30, and then lost that game simply because of the draft alone. In this one, it was mostly because of individual missteps, but I feel like they can still be going home with, you know, a clear vision. This series has showed a lot of their weaknesses, and they can work off of that.
Definitely. Just before we finish up, a game like this where you get absolutely stomped out so early on into the game, it's always something that the team that wins struggles to find many points of which they can talk about their mistakes and improve from. Whereas Copenhagen are going to have a lot more time to discuss about what went wrong, how they failed to then pull it back, and it's just, technically, as much as it was a painful loss for them, it's actually a bit of an incredible win at the same time, because it just means these guys have so much more that they can work on as a team and put together. It's like working a bit of a chess game, really. You can't be expected to win everything, unlike Fnatic did back in their 2015 summer split, I believe it was. But, I mean, it's kind of crazy. But at the end of the day, you know, Copenhagen have a lot of time to make it work.
Yeah, they definitely have that time. Of course, it's just the beginning of the split, so a lot of time to improve. We have seen some teams, of course, work very well off of that. Currently, I'm getting notes. I'm getting messages that we may be getting Tauber into an interview position. A bit unsure how that is going to go. I am going to update you guys on that very, very soon. Now, kind of to reflect once again on Copenhagen Flames, if we were to choose an MVP, I feel like in the first game it was definitely Prebi, just putting his work, and Hillerød in the second one is definitely Hold My Fox. Like, Jesus Christ, that was disgusting. His individual outplays were absolutely massive, and well, Alban in the first one was an absolute monster as well, so props to them. And I'm really glad to be seeing Hillerød back in form because, well, it's them, you know. It's one of the OG teams, right? It's someone that we know, someone we love, someone we remember seeing. So give us a couple of minutes. Hopefully we're going to be able to provide you guys with a lovely interview. We're going to have to see in just a short bit. Anything that you want to add, perhaps?
I think you've more or less covered it up perfectly. We've got to give our shout-outs over to the way these guys were able to play out. Alban, definitely deserving of an MVP. Prebi, deserving of an ace in game one for certain, and then Hold My Fox coming in with that insane outplay. I do want to give my props to Sebel, because even though there was the point where he was, I believe it was 1-4 or 1-5, and Hold My Fox was popping the hell off, and that last moment where the flawless duet went in just as he went in for the final execution to get himself back in the game, that flawless duet landed perfectly with the prediction of him going in for the kill, and he was able to just about turn it around. But nevertheless, I want to give Sebel a prop for going for that sort of a play, because even though he was so far behind, he was literally able to almost pull it back just on an individual outplay.
And well, ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to announce that in the end, we did manage to get a player from Hillerød Esport. It is, of course, Tauber, the classic int man, if we can say. What was that about? Yeah, hi, how's it going? How was those couple of engages that you went for and got caught out? You're the only member on your team with 3 deaths. How did that happen?
I mean, if you're talking about the last one on the mid-turret, there was a lot of talking in the chat afterwards. Let's just keep it at that.
All right, well, that's fair. I feel like we remember you seeing you in like semifinals, and then yeah, that was a very interesting series where you died over and over. But not to bring out like old flames, we can keep talking about the new ones. So what actually happened to Hillerød between the semifinals when you guys dropped out, and then through these ones? How big of a change did the roster go through? Because I remember Vand telling me about a lot of things happening to your team.
Oh boy, there's been a huge change in Hillerød Esport for the better, thankfully. At the semifinals, we had kind of a rough time. We had two people who couldn't make it all of a sudden. So we actually played with 2 subs, and I had to leave after the first game. So it was kind of a carnival, and it really showed when we played. But we got a new jungler. Hidden Shadow is looking for other opportunities, and we're really happy with Alban. And the team cohesion is amazing, better than it's ever been. So I really think it shows in the second match.
All right, I'm really glad to see that you guys managed to pull through in the end in the second game. What happened in the first one? Because it seemed kind of sloppy at times.
So long story short, this is our first actual game since the last LCD game, and our jungler's first competitive game. And props to him for doing so well and carrying us through it. But yeah, we really had to get warm. We haven't been scrimming a lot yet. We're just getting started. So yeah, we had to warm up, and once we got it, I think we showed what we could do.
Oh yeah, well, hopefully that we are gonna see a lot more games from you guys, because of course it was a pleasure seeing you back in SRG, your first game of this split, and hopefully to a lot more victories. Thank you for coming on stream tonight, Tauber. And
thank you for having me.
Right now, ladies and gentlemen, I believe it is time that we wrap it all up from me and Fatman here. Do you want to take the honors?
I certainly will in this case. What a shame it is to come to the end so soon, but nevertheless, guys, it was an insanely good 2 games. Hillerød, Esport coming out with some insane players. A little bit of cheekiness there from Tarber, going in being the dirty Inter in game 2. Hello, report my support, please. Not gonna lie, but nevertheless, it was a great game, guys. And thank you ever so much for tuning into SRG Serenity Gaming once again, and we will see you all again next time. This time, you can touch your browsers. See you later.
Have a good one.
Yay, thank you for having me.